That afternoon, Alexandra came home with unexpected news. My company is sending me to another city for a week, he said as he set his briefcase down. It's an important project, and I can't say no. Samira's heart sank. A whole week without Alexandra in the house meant a whole week alone with Mama Alex. Will you be okay? He asked, concern in his eyes. Samira forced a smile. Of course, Mama Alex and I will be fine. Alexandra didn't look convinced. If she says anything, I will be fine, Alex, she interrupted him, assuring him. Go and do your work. I will manage here. The next morning, he left early, promising to call every day. Samira stood by the door, watching until he was out of sight. She turned to find Mama Alex staring at her. So it's just the two of us now, the older woman said. Samira nodded. Yes, Mama. Mama Alex said nothing more and walked back into the room. Samira took a deep breath. Samira spent the morning keeping herself busy. She cleaned the house, washed the dishes, and even swept the compound. Anything to avoid her being alone with Mama Alex for too long. But she knew she couldn't avoid her forever. By noon, she was in the kitchen preparing lunch. When Mama Alex walked in, the older woman stood by the door, watching silently. Samira felt the weight of her gaze, but didn't turn around. She continued cutting the vegetables. Her hands steady, despite the nervousness creeping up her spine. After a long silence, Mama Alex finally spoke. What are you making? Samira glanced at her. Egusi soup and pounded yam, Mama. Mama Alex raised an eyebrow. Do you even know how to make good pounded yam? Samira smiled softly. Yes, Mama. Would you like to taste it when I'm done? Mama Alex coughed. We will see. She turned and left the kitchen. Samira exhaled, relieved that there was no insult this time. When lunch was ready, she set the table and called Mama Alex. The older woman sat down and took a bite of the food. She chewed softly, her face giving nothing away. Then to Samira's surprise, she nodded. It's good. Samira's eyes widened. Thank you, Mama. Mama Alex said nothing more. She finished her meal in silence and left the table. It wasn't much, but to Samira, it was a victory. That evening, she prayed before bed. She whispered, Lord, I see what you were doing. Thank you. The days passed, and though Mama Alex didn't openly show affection, she wasn't as harsh as before. She still made little comments here and there though, but they were fewer and softer. Then, one morning, something happened that changed everything. Samira had finished making breakfast and was about to take a seat when she felt a sudden sharp pain in her stomach. She gasped and clenched her abdomen, her breath coming in quick pants. Mama Alex, who had just entered the room, froze. What's wrong with you? Samira tried to speak, but the pain intensified. A pain of dizziness washed over her. She stumbled forward, and everything went blank. When she opened her eyes, she was lying on the couch. Mama Alex hovering around with a worried expression. You fainted, the older woman said. Samira blinked. I don't know what happened. You need to see a doctor, Mama Alex said firmly. Samira hesitated. She hadn't been to the hospital in a while, mostly because she was tired of hearing the same words. Nothing is wrong with you. But Mama Alex wasn't taking no for an answer. She got dressed and said, Get dressed, I will take you myself. Samira stared at her, surprised. Mama Alex had never shown this level of concern before. Slowly, she nodded. At the hospital, the doctor ran some tests while Mama Alex sat beside Samira, arms crossed. After what felt like forever, the doctor returned with a smile. Congratulations, Samira, you were pregnant. Samira gasped. What? Mama Alex's eyes widened. She is? The doctor nodded. Yes, about 6 weeks long. Tears welled in Samira's eyes. She covered her mouth, overwhelmed with emotions. Mama Alex sat still, shocked written all over her face. Then, to Samira's astonishment, the older woman reached for her hand. Samira looked at her, and for the first time, she saw something new in her eyes. The ride home from the hospital was quiet. Samira kept glancing at Mama Alex, waiting for her to say something. The older woman was deep in thought, her face unreadable. When they arrived home, Samira expected her to go straight to her bedroom. But instead, Mama Alex turned to her. "You need to rest," she said firmly. Samira blinked in surprise. "Yes, Mama." Mama Alex nodded, then walked away. For the rest of the day, Samira was treated differently. Mama Alex didn't call her to do the chores. Instead, she handled most things herself. She even made Samira a cup of warm tea in the evening. As Samira sipped it, she felt a lump in her throat. It wasn't just the tea, it was the unspoken apology in Mama Alex's action. That night, Samira lay in bed, staring at the ceiling. She placed her hand on her stomach and whispered, "Thank you, Lord." When Alexandra called, she couldn't hold back the news. "Alex," she said, her voice trembling with joy, "I am pregnant." There was silence on the other end. "Samira, are you serious?" Alex said finally. "Yes," she laughed. Tears spilled down her cheeks. A deep emotional sigh came from Alexandra. "Oh my love, I wish I were there to hold you right now." "Come home soon," she whispered. "As soon as I can," he promised. The moment they ended the call, Mama Alex knocked gently on her door. "Come in, Mama," Samira said. Mama Alex stepped inside hesitantly. "I heard you talking to Alex." Samira nodded. The older woman took a deep breath. "I owe you an apology." Samira sat up, stunned. "Mama, no, let me speak." Mama Alex interrupted. "I have been cruel to you, Samira. I let my fear of not having grandchildren turn into hatred. But you never stopped being kind to me. You never gave up on me." Samira's eyes filled with tears. "Can you forgive me?" Samira nodded quickly. "Of course, Mama." Mama Alex exhaled deeply. "Thank you, my daughter." For the first time, she had called her daughter. Samira smiled through her tears. Months passed, and Samira's belly grew. Mama Alex took care of her like a mother and her own child. She cooked for her, made sure she rested, and even sat with her at night when she had trouble sleeping. When Alexandra finally returned, he was shocked to see the change in his mother. "Samira, are you sure this is my mother?" He joked as he watched her fuse over Samira's food. Mama Alex swatted his arm. "Don't be silly. I have seen my ways, and I was wrong. Now, I will love my daughter-in-law as I should have from the beginning." Samira and Alexandra exchanged a smile. After 37 weeks, Samira went into labor. It was a long, painful night, but in the early hours of the morning, the cries of a newborn baby filled the air. "It's a girl," the nurse announced. Tears of joy streamed down Samira's face as she held her baby for the first time. Alexandra kissed her forehead, his own eyes wet with emotions. Then, Mama Alex stepped forward. "Have you thought of a name?" Alexandra asked her. Mama Alex looked at the tiny bundle in Samira's hand. She said, her face full of love, "I will name her Nice," she said softly. Alexandra frowned. "Nice?" Mama Alex nodded. "Because her mother was nice to me, even when I didn't deserve it." As the sun rose that morning, filling the room with golden light, Samira knew one thing for sure: love, patience, and faith had won, and her family was finally complete. Moral of the story: no matter how others treat you, never let their behavior change who you are. When you choose kindness over bitterness, even the hardest heart can be softened.